Hi, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to give you guys an update on my labor and delivery. It went so good. Oh my gosh, it went so good. If you're into like horror stories, thank God I do not have one. It was an awesome experience. I had my third baby. I did go to a hospital. I did go natural. It was just so good. I'm just like beaming because it went so well. My baby's actually 3 months old. I haven't done any videos for like so long. But you know what? I had a baby. We are building a house, and so we just have a lot going on. But our house is almost done. They're putting in like the countertops. I was literally dancing around the workers as they were putting the countertops in, like, they're so beautiful. Off topic, sorry. I started having contractions in the morning, and I had some contractions other days, and then they just kind of would let up, and then I'd have some contractions and then let up, and I was like, no, these contractions are going to stick around. I was thinking, like, is this even real, or are these just really intense Braxton Hicks? Because I get some real intense Braxton Hicks. Real intense. Actually made like 4 freezer meals while my boys were at preschool. I just like busted them out, got them done, and y'all, I worked so hard on one of them, and then it was in one of those foil pans, you know, the like lasagna pan. And as I was trying to put it in the oven, it just like crumpled and half of it fell on the floor. So then I'm like cleaning up inside out ravioli. Anyway, so I put those in the freezer, and then I went upstairs and I started walking again. Walk. Got on the bouncy ball, walk, got on the bouncy ball. The issue is you're supposed to look for how consistent they are. So are they 5 minutes apart? Are they 10 minutes apart? Are they 12 and then 6 and then 9 and then 4? And then, you know, because that's not real labor, so they say. So mine were about 4 minutes and then 6 minutes and then 5 minutes and then 6 minutes. So they were varying, but not drastic. But still, the contractions weren't so intense for them to only be 4 minutes apart. Typically, if they're 4 minutes apart, they're like, go to the hospital. But I was thinking, I'm not going to the hospital until I have to. So I went and picked up my boys from preschool. Like I said, we're building a house. So I went out to our property. We're walking around with the guys that were digging the pond out. And then both of my boys fell in some cactus. Ugh. Tragedy. And all of a sudden, I got like some intense contractions. And I was thinking, is this just because I'm a little bit stressed out? Or is this real? And like our property has hills. It's only a few acres, but it still has just a little bit. And so walking up and down those, being so pregnant with running after my 2 boys, was kind of intense. So I packed them in the car. I pop in Curious George, thank you, DVD player in the car, come home. So I get the cactus out of them, stick them in the bath, and my contractions are getting pretty intense. So I call my husband and I was like, babe, I think you're gonna need to come home. My contractions are pretty intense. And so he's like, oh, okay, so like, should I pack up in like 30 minutes? And I was like, no, I mean like get in the car right now. So he's like, oh, okay. So he gets in the car, he comes home, and by the time he gets home, like I had to stop and like breathe them out. I couldn't keep moving. And then they would go away and I could keep going, you know? And I was like, you know what? I think I need to take my shower because I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be like this. And then I actually got in the bath and just like sat in the bath for a while because that really helps my contractions. And I thought, okay, if they stall out while I'm in the bath, then it's not real. And this is just a whatever pre-labor thing, because that's actually happened with both my boys. I had like a day where it was really intense and then they just went away. And it wasn't for another like 6 or 7 days till they were born. Such a disappointment. When you are that far along, every day feels like an eternity. I got in the bath and like just laid there. I was actually watching YouTube videos. They kind of like subdued, and I was like, oh no, this is disappointing, because I mean, it was probably around 6 o'clock at night, and I was thinking, I'm tired now. I've walked on a treadmill, I've made all these freezer meals, I walked our property, I've dug cactus out of my kids, you know, I'm tired. I don't know if I want to even go into labor. So I was kind of like, Lord, if I don't go into labor, it's okay. I'm all right with that. And I told my husband, you know, I don't know if this is real because I think they're just going away. And so he's like, oh, bummer. And then my contractions start up again. And I'm like, oh, okay. Only this time they are like significantly stronger. More like this is a real contraction. This is not Braxton Hicks. I'm for sure this is a real contraction. So I started doing my hair, I'm curling my hair, I'm putting on my eye makeup, and I'm having to like stop every 4 minutes. My husband ends up coming in and timing him. My mother-in-law takes the boys, and I'm like leaning over every time I have a contraction, and then I get up and I'm like curling the rest of my hair, and I lean over, put my eyeshadow on, lean over, and they are about 3 minutes apart. The thing is, it's so difficult to describe, because if you have back labor versus just like, I don't know, regular labor, I mean, I don't know if it's regular, but it's front labor, they're so different. The intensity of back labor is just, there is nothing worse than back labor. And I had that so intense with my first, and just trudged through hours and hours of it, and then eventually got an epidural. I was having a little bit of back labor, but not much, and so I couldn't tell like how intense it was. You know, I was trying to figure out, like, gauge, am I progressing? Like, am I dilating more, or am I not dilating at all? Yeah, I had been a 3 since the Thursday before. I didn't want to go to the hospital until I was like really, really close, until either my water had broken or I was just so close. Really until my water had broken. That's what I was waiting for. But my contractions got harder and stronger, and so both my mother-in-law and my husband were like, we should go. You guys, you need to go. We need to go. And I just kept saying, no, we're gonna wait. And I laid down on the bed on my side and got a really intense one, and it freaked me out, like really freaked me out, because I've had a couple of friends who have not made it to the hospital or who have not made it to the birthing center, and they ended up having their babies like at home on their own floor. And that's not the way I want to do things. That scares me. Everything was fine. Everybody was healthy. No big deal. But I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to make my husband deliver our child. Oh dear Lord, no. And this whole time, my doctor was saying that he was going to be out of town. So I was trying to have the baby before he left town so that he could deliver my baby. Well. Things don't always work out the way you plan. So freaked out, laying in bed, and I was like, James, we gotta go right now. We gotta go right now. And he was like, oh, okay. We went from I don't want to go to we gotta get in the car right now. So he was like grabbing the stuff. I was going out the door, go down the stairs, get in the car, go. We're going to the hospital, and I'm thinking like, this is legit. This is labor. It's hurting. And I would randomly get the back labor. I was like praying against that. In Jesus' name, there will be no back labor. And I was just trying to like relax and let the contractions like go through my body. Every contraction, make it work. Get that baby down. That's what I just like kept. I was like, I told somebody later, I was doulaing myself. Like I didn't have a doula, but I felt like I was doulaing myself. Like let the contraction go. Breathe through it. And I probably looked like a crazy person because I was totally talking to myself. We get to the hospital, you know, they ask you at the front desk. This is like, I feel like they vet you when you go into the nurse's station, because they're like, yeah, has your water broken? No? Okay. And what number baby is this for you? Is it your first baby? And I'm like, no, it's my 3rd baby. And with my 2nd, the doctor barely got there. And they were like, all right. So it was like they took me seriously or something. So they get me in the room and they check me. Y'all, I was at a 4. 1 centimeter different from the last 5 days. How much had I done that day? I was thinking that I would be like an 8. Disappointment to the max. I was devastated, and I was like, that's it, we're going home. I'm not staying here forever. We're leaving. And the nurse and my husband were both like, no, let's just hold off. So the doctor wasn't there, and so she's like, you know what we're gonna do? The doctor wants you to walk for about an hour. I didn't want to walk outside because I don't want to be in pain in front of people. That's weird. Like, ooh, I just want to be in my room. So I turned on my playlist, which I'm telling you, a playlist of music that you find comforting, I feel like that is the key to all my successful deliveries, is having peaceful music that got me in the zone of like, it's gonna be okay, I'm gonna survive this. Because there are moments when you feel like I'm gonna die. Am I ever gonna make it out of this? That wasn't to scare people. It's just the facts. Everybody knows that child labor is hard. They call it labor. Hello, it's childbirth. On my little yoga ball, I put a towel down because I said this in my what's my hospital bag video. The hospitals where sick people go. I don't care if it's the labor ward or not. The hospital is germy and dirty. It is what it is. I've had multiple friends contract weird things there after having their babies. So I'm like, no. So I put a towel down and put my yoga ball on that. And like, you know, was sitting on that, rolling my hips, you know, there's all these how to induce labor videos. Jesus induces your labor. That's it. You know, none of that other stuff worked. My contractions were getting to the point where I couldn't breathe, like really intense. And I would feel some back labor and then I would try to relax. Like, I don't know how to describe, just like almost like envisioning this really intense contraction up here, like in your back and up here, and then just letting it like go down, like just releasing it to go all the way through your body to try to get that contraction to push the baby out. That's just what I was envisioning. I don't know, maybe that'll help somebody. I was like leaning over to get the pressure off my back and into my belly. And so I was leaning over the bed, and the nurse came in about 45 minutes and she was like, oh, you seem to be in a lot more pain. And I was like, yeah, I am. So she was like, well, it's only been 45 minutes or, you know, around that. So we'll go ahead and check you. She had me lay down. She strapped those. I hate those monitor things. Oh, and they're like from the Stone Ages. I swear they're the same ones they've been using since like the 70s. We have like face recognition apps to change your face to look like a bunny, and you can't come up with something that isn't this bulky, tight, heavy, nasty thing all over my belly as I'm contracting a baby out. Please, please. So she straps that monstrosity to me. I'm laying there and I just keep thinking like, let it go through, because I would tighten up intense and I could feel that the contraction wasn't like working. The contraction is to push your baby down into the birthing canal to get out. And I felt like it was not able to do that because I was so tense. So I just kept thinking like, open up, release, open up, release. So she checks me again and she's like, oh, you're an 8. So in 45 minutes, I went from a 4 to an 8. And she's like, oh, okay. Okay, well, that's great. You know, I'm going to go contact the doctor so that they can come and, you know, so they'll be ready. So she leaves, and I remembered with my second that when I was in transition, just didn't know it. I got on the bed and was on my side, and that's when he came out. And so I thought, you know what? If I lay on my side, oh, this whole time my water hasn't broken yet. I've been planning on not even going to the hospital till my water broke. So now I'm an 8 and my water hasn't broken. What? So I lay on my side, and y'all, I have always said that when your water breaks, it is not like the movies. Correction. It was comical. It looked like a water balloon had like exploded. I swear it hit the back wall. I am not even kidding. It was like, even my husband was like, whoa! So it was only us in the room. He was over there, and so I was like, James! And so I just started yelling, like, my water broke! The baby's coming! Because it was as soon as the water broke. So they saw on the little Doppler thing that that my water broke. Basically, there was a glitch in the system or whatever. So they saw. So she was already coming from the nurse's station to check on that little blip. James was running out the door saying, our water broke, the baby's coming. So anyway, so my water broke at 10:41. My daughter was born at 10:42, 1 minute later. So the nurses are coming in, I'm yelling, my water broke, the baby's coming. All these nurses are like flooding in, and the head nurse is like putting on gloves, and she's like, and so I'm yelling, like, I have to push, I can't help it, I'm pushing. And she goes, okay, that's okay. Then the baby came out. From the time my water broke to the time my baby was born, 1 minute. 1 minute. So I wanted my doctor there. It turns out there was no doctor there. Only a bunch of like frazzled nurses. The head nurse was like on it, but the other nurses were like, there's no doctor here. What are we doing? And, you know, normally the room at the hospital, they've got like this big cabinet almost in the ceiling that like comes apart. This big light comes down, and then the bed breaks down. So they put this big bag so that everything that's supposed to come out besides the baby is all like kind of like in there. None of that happened. Baby was just born. And the nurse, you know, like basically just like caught her. Overall, it was awesome. Yes, labor hurts because it's labor. I do feel like my level of pain was not nearly as much as it was, especially with my first. That back labor, that is something else. Woe to those who have back labor. Anyway, it was awesome. It was awesome. If you're pregnant, you're about to deliver, I really want to encourage you to do some research. With my first, I just thought it's natural. People have babies all the time. Know your body, figure out what stresses you and what relaxes you. I know that worship music relaxes me. If I'm getting like anxious or stressed out about something and I turn worship music on, I just like calm down. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you liked it, share it with your friends, and leave your comments below. Tell me about your experience in your labor, delivery, newborn, pregnancy, whatever. It's all so much fun, and it's so exciting to hear everybody's stories. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will hopefully see you in my next video. Bye!